How's it going, guys? JP here, and today is Monday once again, which means that this is time for another video talking about the Bates Motel. This time we're on episode 6. The title is The Truth. And this episode opens with Norma kind of tripping out a bit. She's kind of breaking down a bit. She's, obviously very, messed up about the fact that she was, dating Deputy Shelby, and he wasn't the guy who she thought he was, and he was involved with the whole Asian sex trafficking thing, and she's kind of flipping out about it, and Norman kind of calms her down, saying, we're gonna get this dude, and he's gonna pay for this or whatever. So then it goes. You also have Dylan. He's actually talking to the boss, the guy who's who he's working for, Garden and Potfields or whatever. And I'm not sure if we was introduced to him before, but he basically tells him about how Ethan got shot in the neck and is dead or whatever. And the boss asks him, if you've seen the guy who, would you know what the guy looked like who killed him? And Dylan kind of tells him how he ran him over, and you can kind of tell that the boss, kind of likes this. Thinks of Dylan as a good employee, good person to work with because he takes action and he handled the situation without any, nudge or push into any direction. He just kind of had good instincts, I guess. Even though it's probably pretty dumb to run somebody over if you're going to kill them, but it's a TV show. So he tells Dylan, go to this far location, dump the car off, and light it up and burn it. And as Dylan does that, he goes to walk away, and there's another guy there who came to pick Dylan up, and there's kind of some bad vibes going on there. Like the guy who comes to pick him up been working for this dude for a long time, and is older, and there's some little hostility there with Dylan being the younger dude. And Dylan's like, I'm gonna be a good person to work with. I learn really fast and stuff. And then the guy says, I'm working with you, or I'm working for you, or whatever. So it looks like Dylan kind of just jumped up in the ranks a bit after killing that guy who shot Ethan. After that, it goes back to Emma, who is, saying how they need to really, call the cops, which would probably, which would be the normal thing to do, call the cops. But, Norma and Norman tell her, like, no, the Chinese girl needs to rest. She needs to regain her strength and stuff. We can't take her to the cops right now. And they eventually convince Emma, not like it's not time to call the cops, obviously, because they have the whole belt situation that Emma does not know about. And, Deputy Shelby has the belt that Keith Summers' belt, who Norman and Norma killed. But they eventually convince Emma that there's no need to call the cops right yet. And Norma kind of has a bonding moment with Emma, and Emma gives her a hug and stuff. So that probably helped, convince her to, not call the cops right yet. To listen to Norma and Norman. Then Dylan tells Norman that he thinks that Norma has killed his father. At the beginning of the series, the very first episode, you see Norman finds his father dead in the garage, and I always thought there was something fishy about that, as well as did everybody who I talked to about the show. Which we all, think that Norma killed the father, and Norman kind of doesn't want to believe it at first, but you can kind of see that, like, he might be kind of believing Dylan a little bit. Then they Norma, Dylan, and Norman are talking or whatever, and Norman and Dylan decide to go get the belt because Norma was going to go try to get it off of Shelby. And they go to the boat where the Asian girl was. They end up talking a bit, and they end up finding the belt. And of course, Dylan I think he mentions that he mentions again about the house where he wants Norman to move in for with him. He put money down on it. Um, and then while they're at the boat, Deputy Shelby shows up at the Bates Motel, and is all over Norma. And of course, Norma is you know acting a bit strange, like doesn't want to, be around him, is nervous looking, and he kind of notices, but he's like, let's go down to the one of the motel rooms. They go down there. They're having sex, and and Norma's kind of just laying there, and Deputy Shelby sees something's up, and he's like, what's wrong with you? And then she tries to play it off a little bit more, like, oh, worried about Norman or whatever. Then he hears water running through the pipes, and he's like, why is there water running? Who's in one of the motel rooms? And she's like, nobody. And he's like, no, somebody's definitely in one of these rooms. So he goes outside with his gun, and of course we know that one of the Asian girls is in the room, the Asian girl's in one of the rooms. So they finally get down to that door, and Norma, says that, oh yeah, there was one of the painters from, whatever town is staying here, and he instantly knows she's lying to him. He's like, why are you lying to me? And then the Asian girl opens the door, and she takes off running once she sees Deputy Shelby. He shoots at her. Norma pushes him. He throws her down, calls her a bitch, runs after her. Then the Norman and Dylan show up, and Dylan tells Norma that Norman's gonna go pack his stuff, and they're gonna move in together. And Norma's kind of gets distracted by that, and then she tells him about Deputy Shelby, how he's there, and he just chased out the chick through the woods, and Norman and Dylan are like, well, we need to get the hell out of here, but she's so worried about Norman leaving her. And this was kind of an interesting scene because there's this important issue going on with Deputy Shelby, but she's more focused on the fact that Norman could be leaving her. And it really is kind of one of those scenes that show that relationship that Norma and Norman have. And it was a pretty effective scene. And then Deputy Shelby shows up because they took too long to leave, and he basically points the guns at him, tells Dylan he knows who he's working for, drop your gun, takes him up to the house, pretty much tripping out. He doesn't know what to do. He starts going into pretty much like almost like a nervous breakdown. Like he's saying how he loved Norma, and he would have took care of Norman and her for the rest of their lives, and he would have, but Norman, put his nose in business didn't belong to him, and starts blaming it on Norman. He takes his gun out, puts it up to Norman's head, but of course he doesn't kill him, and he backs away and is like, geez, I'm in a shitty situation, and then he ends up smacking Norma, and you could tell Norman is getting he's going into blackout mode, and he hits her again, and Norman flips out, tackles him. He drops his gun. Dylan picks up his gun, but Deputy Shelby has another gun, and there's he throws Norman or whatever. Norman's all completely out of it, not knowing what's going on. He's kind of blacked out, knocked out. And Dylan and Deputy Shelby are in a firefight with their guns. They end up both getting shot. Dylan in the arm or the shoulder, and the deputy in the leg. And Dylan ends up running out of bullets, heads upstairs, and to pretty much reload, and Deputy Shelby goes up after him with his wounded leg. And I gotta touch on something real quick. I hate in a lot of movies and TV shows when somebody gets shot and there's not blood dripping everywhere. The, there should be way more blood than what they show, and that always kind of bothers me, and it kind of bothered me in this episode too. The house should be just a trail of blood with them walking, especially if they're moving. The blood would pump out faster and stuff, but anyway, that's just a little nitpicky thing there. Norma ends up dragging Norman outside and calls the cops, says somebody's trying to kill her, ends up going down to the car. She left, but she realizes her keys are in the bedroom. Then you hear 3 gunshots. Deputy Shelby walks outside, and right away you know that he's the one that's dead. he walks outside. He's like dying. And he puts his gun up, does it, and falls over. Dylan comes out. Um, Norma goes and hugs Dylan, and Norman's just completely out of it, staring blankly in the car, not knowing what's going on. And Norma says, "What are we gonna tell the cops?" Dylan's like, "We're gonna finally tell them the truth. I'm done with these stories and stuff. I'm gonna tell them everything." And Norma says, "You don't even know the whole truth," and ends up telling him in a flashback scene that how Norman's father died. And it turns out that Norma was getting beat on by Norman's father. Norman got that like blank stare and went like all crazy and ends up killing the father. Norma ends up dragging the body into the garage and knocks over a big shelf on top of him, and then it cuts to when Norman finds the body, and that's basically what happened. There's another thing. I don't think it's quite that easy to, just move a body and say that the shelf killed him. That's a little bit of a problem, but whatever. It's TV. Um, so Norman has no idea that he killed his father, obviously, and yeah, that's where the episode kind of ends. And it looks like Dylan, I think Norma says, like, "You're either with me or you can get the fuck out of my way," or something like that. I can't really remember what she says. I don't think she says fuck. Obviously, it's on TV, but, you get out of my way or whatever. But, yeah, so that's episode number 6. And these episodes are getting longer and longer for me to explain. And, yeah, but this was a pretty solid episode. Deputy Shelby is dead also. So I'm interested to see how they're going to explain this, and you know, hopefully they just tell him about the Asian girl. She's probably in the woods somewhere. Emma as a witness, so everything should kind of work out. I don't know. There'll probably be some part where Dylan's like the blame for a little bit or something, but who knows? So yep, I'll see you guys next week, and yeah.